Good evening, good day, everyone, wherever you are, and welcome to this webinar hosted by OPIT, Open Institute of Technology. Today we have a special topic of AI in action. It's practical applications, natural language processing in business. So I'm very happy to be today here with all of you and Professor Marzi. Thanks, Marzi, for joining us. She's a senior product manager at ING, and she's been senior data scientist at Randstad Office and Administration. She has a background in computer science, so a lot of expertise to bring to the table. And today, as I said, I'm going to give you a very brief overview about OPIT, and then I leave the floor to her with a masterclass. And then after that, I will continue giving you an overview of the programs, and you can ask any questions, of course, in the chat, so that we'll be happy to have communication and dialogue with you as well. So first of all, about OPIT, our mission is really to unlock progress and employment on a global scale by providing what we believe to be top quality education, which is also affordable in the field of technology. Technology is a broad name. It includes computer science, data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, digital business, and anything that is related to something that you will see it happens in every type of sectors, in every type of companies. Technology today is the engine of the transformation that we are living. That's why we offer programs in this specific field. We are an institution that has been accredited by the MFHEIA in Malta, so we are recognized in Europe and far beyond. We are also recognized by West in America and Canada. So we fully believe in the high quality, and that's reflected in the accreditation that we got and in the way we design the programs and we deliver them. Our programs are flexible and fully online, and as I said, they're focused on technology. But what is a specific trait is that they are very career aligned. The way we design them, the way our professors teach with business case and all the experience they bring to class shows how aligned they are to the career of today and tomorrow. We are online, the programs are online, but you're not left alone. We make sure that the support is always available. And we know how important it is to have, especially when you're online, someone you can refer to, rely to, being the professors, the tutors, the coordinators, the career service. This is very important, and that's what we design, how we design the programs, to be a community always there to support you as well. And finally, we believe to be inclusive and affordable with scholarship, opportunities to join wherever you are, with a platform that is really easy to use, and so something that can be easily inclusive for everybody. When I talk about quality, I'm very happy to say that the way we actually engage our professors is very important to us, and Professor Marzi is an example today. So our professors are a mix of academicians and people from the business. They all have a background in technology. They come from different countries, different cultures, different companies, but what they bring is a passion for technology and especially their expertise in different type of companies. Here you can see a very brief sample, but you can have the full faculty members list on our website. So we have professors from like ING, like Marzi, then from Amazon, PayPal, Microsoft, Morgan Stanley, and so on and so forth. Okay, but without any further ado, I don't want to take up too much time. I'm just going to leave the floor to Marzi to talk about a very specific AI in action, which is the practical applications of natural language processing in business. Okay.
Thank you, Greta, for this opportunity. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Not yet. Now it's loading. Yes, it is.
Great. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this interesting webinar, which is about AI in action and practical application of NLP in business. Just to introduce myself, so my name is Marzi. I have a background in computer science from Technical University of Lisbon, and I have been back to the industry for now 8 years, where I have worked in different domains, starting from health, as a data scientist, working with dentists and surgeons. And later I moved to Randstad in the HR analytic, helping our recruiters to find the best talent. I worked there also as a senior data scientist, and later I moved to ING Bank, also as a senior data scientist, and also transformed to an analytic product manager. I work in a department called Analytic in ING, which has 200 people there. And the main business model behind this department is we are in the second line, helping the first line in the bank when they suffer from different problems coming from fraud to KYC to customer support to HR. We try to build analytic products to help them semi-automate their process. And I'm excited to present this webinar. So moving on. So I already introduced myself. I will give you very high level, some description of NLP, a bit of the history, but what is the main goal of this webinar to see some exciting real case studies in industry and see how we can help to build the future. And we will talk a bit also about the challenges ahead in this domain, as it is right now a booming domain. So moving on. So what is NLP? So NLP stands by natural language process, where it's basically a branch from artificial intelligence and focuses on the interaction between computers and humans through natural language. The main business value is facilitates better the human and computer interaction. The main input of NLP is any kind of text data. So not image data or any video data is their input. It's just mainly focused on text data. It can, of course, transform speech to text or video to text, but text, it's its main input, and it enables the automation of routine tasks where we will go by. A bit of the history. So NLP actually is not new, has been around for a while, since 1950, and it has been booming in the recent years, but it has been here for a while. So, and which started by Alan Turing, which is one of the fathers of NLP. And Turing work influenced NLP research, such as speech recognition, machine translation, and sentiment analysis. Later on, ELISA was introduced by Professor Joseph from MIT, which I love this example. So it's the most famous script, which from a doctor that simulates a psychotherapist from a school, and which the therapist often reflects back the patient's words to the patient. And it's a rule-based system, and it uses rules to dictate in the script to respond with non-directional question to user inputs. So basically, we can say ELISA was one of the first chatbots that was built. Later on in 2000, there were some initiation coming from IBM. And they had this AI system, question and answering. And later on, we had WordNet, which is one of the biggest databases, say, dictionary that has synonym and a lot of different features inside it for the language modeling. And the boom starts from 2013 with the most famous example of NLP, which is called Word2Vec, which was implemented by Google. Basically, Word2Vec learns word embedding through an iterative training process using a large amount of text data and during the training, the model adjusts the vector representation of word to maximum the likelihood of predicting context word or target word. So say I give the algorithm I am, it can predict my next word. And from this very, very simple initial example, it managed to get evolved to transformer models, to GPT series, and one of the biggest LLM examples that right now you are seeing, such as ChatGPT, OpenAI, Bard from Google, Llama, many models, they all got influenced and inspired by these transformers via this word to vec. And now this is the booming area. So moving on. Next. So there are some different key processes that is good to know on a bit of very, very high level. What are the capability of the NLP? So we have the text analyzers that you can basically analyze the text. It has language generation, which can produce content. It has language understanding, where for example, you use Google Translator I think many of you use Google Translator. So one of the main application of language understanding, and also transforming unstructured text data into structured data and summarizing the data, which I can see in the next. So there are many, these are some of the most famous piece of technology that NLP has, starting from text summarization that is very well known these days with the Gen AI that can basically translate a document with 10 page to half a page, summarize with the main keywords. You use SEO search on your Google search every day. This is also supported by the NLP. We have the sentiment analysis that can basically label the tone of the voice of the customer from being very happy to very sad. That is called sentiment analysis. And we have keyword extraction that also uses being used in SEO, that basically you search with a set of combination of different keywords, where the search engine goes and look into the document and tries to extract those important keywords. So as you can see, many of these functionality you all use in your daily life. So nothing is new here. But here's the exciting part. Let's see some recent nice case study samples in different domains, which I have prepared for you. And some of them are very recent, with success stories coming from customer service to finance and human resource. But for example, for e-commerce, again, I think many of you are customers of Amazon. You know that when you are searching for a product, in the right, in the left, you will get recommended to use the buy next product. So that famous recommendation engine uses NLP to analyze your behavior and basically suggests you and motivates you to buy more. We also have marketing that basically uses sentiment analysis to monitor what do you think about a product via this social media, and how they can basically improve their product and get more positive feedback. But let's dive into some of them. Since the boom of NLP, which was presented by OpenAI and later on by Google and many companies, there has been a big revolution, especially when it comes to customer service. And when the news came out last year, there were a lot of companies, including the company that I also work in, ING, that were looking into one of their main application, which is customer service. Basically, the main business value was to enhance customer satisfaction by reducing wait times and providing fast assistance. So there were a lot of companies that started negotiating with OpenAI, Google, and so on for basically a Gen AI-based, LLM-based chatbot to have to work 24/7 and basically increases their customer satisfaction. There were many success examples. But one of them that was very on all the news all over the place was from Klarna. Klarna partnered up with OpenAI, and they were so successful that they completely closed their call centers. So they don't have any person working in the call center anymore, and the LLM based chatbot, it's basically equivalent work of 700 full-time agents, and it's more accurate, and it has been leading to a 25% drop in repeat inquiries. When I researched a bit Klarna, something that was very interesting about their bot was they were giving personalized advice to the customer based on the data and the background and the financial situation of the customer, which is also one of the booming technology coming from NLP, where you can provide personalized advice to the customer. And it could also handle a variety of tasks, including refunds, returns, cancellation, and basically the website of the Klarna was the main resource. The content was the main resource of the LLM. So if a customer was asking, I need to refund something, they went to the LLM, went to the website, find the best URL that the customer can start refunding right away, and provided the link for the customer that just the customer, by clicking on this, can do the job in less than 2 minutes. So that was one of the very nice success stories coming from the application of, say, LLMs in the customer service. Regarding the human resource, so as I'm also mentioned about my background, I have also worked in the Randstad on the analytics application of analytics in HR, and there are a lot of different topics that you can apply NLP. Back then, when I was working in Randstad, we came up with a recommendation engine for the recruiters. That Randstad was one of the biggest recruiting companies, is one of the biggest recruiting companies in the world. They receive a lot of CVs. They have a big fatty database of CVs. And basically, they wanted us to help the recruiter to be faster and more efficient. So what we did was, based on those CVs, we parsed those CVs and put it as an input in a recommendation engine, and then put a front end as an app for our non-technical recruiters, that every day, by just going to the app, we recommended them different candidates, where the main functionality was matching the CV of the customer with the job description, and then suggesting the recruiter to give us a label of, do they think it's a good recommendation? If yes, go for it and give us a reward. If no, please reject it, and we recommend you the next one. Another booming success story was recently from Unilever, where they partnered with an AI company, and they tried to basically improve their hiring process. Unilever is a very big company with a lot of job position, which you can imagine it can make the recruiting process very heavy and time consuming. So basically, the platform that they used was basically using NLP, and the candidate was first getting an invitation for a video online to answer some of the questions without any human in the loop. And then from the video interview, they try to extract, first of all, they translate the speech video to text, and then they try to extract key information about candidate skills, competency, and so on. This was also a very success use case. The average time to hire was reduced by 75%, which is fantastic, allowing HR teams to focus on high-level tasks. And they also provided a report that showed that they got very positive feedback from the candidates as well, because it would not only speed up the process from an HR point of view, but also from the candidate. Moving on. So we have also in finance and banking, there are many interesting applications of NLP. In the bank I work, we also are applying one of the famous LLMs to our bot, and we are in production with that LLM-based chatbot, and we actually have a good satisfaction rate right now. So that is good to know. And I know that also applies to many other banks as well, that they are also all on an LLM-based chatbot. But there was also interesting success story news coming from JP Morgan. And that is a problem that many banks suffer. So these many banks, especially if it's an old-fashioned big bank, we have a lot of documentation, say from onboarding a customer to many kind of regulation, because banks are dealing with a lot of regulation. And when there is a new regulation coming in, you should be up to date, and you should basically apply that new regulation and transform it to new rules in different departments. Apparently, JP Morgan was also suffering from that. So for reviewing their legal document, they had their own local analytic department, as I understood. And they basically use the text summarization of NLP to be able to summarize, like, say, all the data that they have for a customer, and say they want to onboard the customer, or they want to use, they have to review thousands of regulation and come up with summarized rule for their data analysts to be apply it to their daily jobs. So they came up with this automation review process, which, as I mentioned, the main is text summarization, but it helped them to it saved them approximately 360,000 hours to just a few seconds, which is fantastic. Moving on, for clinic, there has been a lot of progress, and maybe you have already heard of the news from Alpha, Google, and so on in health, but has been mostly on the image data. On the text, this is not like a very new, but there is going on, and that is one success story that was coming out was about Mayo Clinic. That Mayo Clinic tried to come up with a machine learning pipeline from different NLP segments, that basically they structured the data analysis and try to come up with all the history of the patient, and also come up with advice on what drug to take, what is the amount of drug, and many things. So, and they took this into production for emergency situation. Imagine there is a patient suffering, comes to emergency, while you and your colleagues are taking care of the initial condition of the patient. There is already a system online that can gather all the different files and history of the customer, and give you a summarization in 4 minutes at the same time that you are basically trying to take care of the patient. So not a lot of hospitals take the risk of AI and Gen AI and NLP, but they were one of the bravest ones to take that completely into account, and they haven't released. I try to check if there are some good numbers of what would their business value. uh, haven't been published yet, but it has been helping them to help summarize the background of the client. But also with the booming of LLM that can advise like a doctor and give you personalized advice of what to do for sickness, there are a lot of challenging topics going around. So it hasn't been approved from ethical viewpoint. There are a lot of debates going on. So it is yet to be determined, but I have a feeling that health also will pass this regulation, and there will be some personalized doctor advisors that will keep human in the loop, but still you can use them for your disease and so on. So a bit about the future of NLP. I think the future of NLP is very promising. There can be it can be promising in different areas, such as human-like understanding. So basically, advancement in NLP could lead to systems that understand and generate language with a human-like fluency, enabling more natural and interaction between humans and machine. This is one of the promises that a lot of people, including Elon Musk, is promising to the world. And one of them that is already has some business values is, as I also mentioned during my presentation, is the personalized and context awareness system. And NLP systems could become more personalized and also context aware in giving you the best response recommendation based on your individual preference, past interaction, and situation context, such as the example we saw in Klarna. However, there will be a lot of challenges as well, and two main challenges that they are under progress and being worked on are regarding security and bias. So basically, NLP system often deal with sensitive and personal information, raising concern about data privacy, data security, ensuring the robust data protection measures and privacy techniques will be somehow essential to safeguard user data and basically maintaining trust in NLP. On the other hand, bias and fairness, so addressing bias and fairness concerns in NLP system remains also a significant challenge nowadays, as this system can basically also create content. This content creation can be used for also some fraud crimes and so on. So basically developing techniques to mitigate bias and ensure fairness in NLP application is critical for building a trustworthy, inclusive system. So I presented with you some real case studies along with the challenges as well. I would be happy if you have any questions or if you would like to have a short discussion about NLP in action. I would be happy if you can contact me and we can be in touch. Back to you, Greta.
Thank you so much. I actually have a question for you. Like that was a discussion that we had today. I see that somebody else is writing, but this is the question. When you mentioned Klarna, that was a very interesting business case. I I have a feeling that sometimes then people think, okay, there is a bot, there is a machine behind that answering me, so the satisfaction could deteriorate in the long run. Like so, the data that you gathered is that instead this language is so intelligent that can provide any type of information that even a human interaction is not necessarily, because that's an impact as well on many businesses, but as well on the experience of the customer. So, like, is it something that you think is just a coincidence? They've done a great job answering any type of questions, or the questions are always the same, or can this be applied to any other type of sector?
That's a very good question. So I actually also work in the
Yes.
chatbot area right now in
Yeah.
ING. So, and I still, when I see our LLM-based chatbot, I still see the need of, still the human needs to be in the loop. It's still
Mm-hmm.
early stages. What Klarna was a bit, how can I say, their ace card about this is they managed to connect the full customer background data uh,
Okay.
in real time at the same time that the customer is asking the question. Something that if a human was there, they needed to search for, say, 5 minutes and come back to the customer, but they manage, since it's real time, they were very good in fetching the
So they
correct.
had a huge database behind with all the possible questions and answers, basically.
Exactly. That
Okay.
that can, it can be that they don't have the question and answer prepared, but for sure, as soon as the customer starts the initiation, the chat, there is already a function going on to gather the document and
Okay.
find out the as is situation of the customer. Another success ace point, say, of the Klarna was it had worked, they worked very hard on their uh, customer satisfaction. So each chat, I also try to test it. I saw that for each chat that I have, there are many questions coming. They ask me for feedback. They ask me to write feedback. They ask me to click on an emoji. So they check my feeling. They ask me to write advice. So
So it continuously improves.
yeah, they are asking very nicely the feedback from the customer, and they are using that data to improve
Okay.
especially
This
their
is
LLM-based chatbot. That was also very helpful.
okay. The reason, thank you so much. That was like it's very interesting, like because in the end, maybe it doesn't apply to any type of sector, but it's actually a way to go, I would say.
Yeah,
The
but on the other hand, it's also sad to see that a lot of customers are looking to close their call centers,
yeah, from a
taking
business
out
point of view.
human out of the loop, which is not that fair.
Well, on the other side, I think there are going to be situations where it's still needed, the human touch, absolutely. There are a couple of questions. One is from someone like didn't leave the name, but what are the first steps an organization should take when designing and evaluating use case for an LLM-driven customer service chatbot from a strategy point of view?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So from an LLM point of view, since LLM, the nature of LLM is they retrieve the content that you provide for them, and then they answer the question based on the content, is basically to prepare your content in advance. So we have a lot of businesses that they have a very poor website with very poor content, minimum of information, outdated information. So what we suggest to many companies, they want to start with LLM-based chatbot, is first and foremost, update and create the content, because that will be the food for the LLM, the input that they use from those documents to generate an answer for the customer.
Okay, thank you for that. And I don't know if you want any further information, just write on the chat. Then we have a question from Emanuele. He's asking on the same topic of Klarna. What about the customer satisfaction? So the AI agent was the only option for the customer. Are we sure that the satisfaction level was comparable with the satisfaction level given by a human operator?
Yeah, so as far as I knew from the Klarna investigation I did, still the human was in the loop, and at any momentum, the customer could ask that I am not satisfied with the answer and I want to get connected to an agent. But what they did was at the end of the conversation, either with an agent, either with the LLM, they asked the customer for feedback. And the satisfaction that came from they call it the CSAT metrics, that came from the LLM was much more higher from the satisfaction that they came from the real human agent.
Well, that's a little bit sad.
Yes. And as I mentioned, since they work in real time, faster they can provide, because we have customers leaving the chat because they are impatient, and they have been providing in terms of, we are talking in terms of minutes, and it's faster response, correct URLs is being provided for the customer. So I think that was also one of the reasons that they were more satisfied with the agent, with the LLM-based chatbot.
And sorry, on that topic, the chat, it was able to detect the question properly, because sometimes also the customer is writing questions that are not very clear.
Exactly. Yes. One of the problems we are also suffering is the customer writes a statement.
Yes.
They don't write the question. And we basically have to train the LLM towards, okay, they repeat wording that, can you please clarify the question? But if not, we are also working on summarizing the statement to be able to convert it to a question. But so I cannot blame the technology on this, that also some of the customers prefer to write their statement or problems rather than giving a straightforward question to the LLM.
Okay. Yes, because maybe sometimes they're used to talk to a human being, so they say something and then there must be a dialogue there. Okay. There is another question, sorry. What is the current landscape of LLM chatbot regarding out-of-the-box solutions versus custom-coded solutions? So what should an organization with low AI maturity aim for?
That's a very good question. So basically, you're asking the lifetime of implementing an LLM-based solution. So it depends. So if you reuse one of these, there are a list of free LLMs, and I also recommend them, such as Cohere and Llama. They have very good free LLMs available compared to OpenAI and Google that you have to buy them. If you reuse them and also start with a very good content, the content is there, your website is rich enough, I see a going to production in less than 3 months. So quarter is planning. If you, however, go with this, say, buy-in LLMs that they have super customer services and so on, depending on the size of the organization, because what we also see in big organization, there is a big challenge called risk. Because say for a bank, the reputation of bank is in danger if our customers are not happy and leave. So for a big organization, if you can go with Google or OpenAI, you have to see, check inside what are your risk regulation and how many months you have to put time to pass all the regulation of your risk officer. So it differs from big to small, but it can be also in less than 6 months.
Oh, that's fast. But as you said, the organization has to have the content ready, otherwise it wouldn't work.
because it doesn't make sense for the LLM to search on Google or offline books to answer the customer, because the customer is asking like from a particular product about your business. So they cannot find it elsewhere. That's why your content needs to be fresh and up to date and complete. So they select it and generate it for the customer.
Okay, well, that's very fascinating. I suppose for the business, as you said, there is like the human element that is very sad to lose, but on the other hand, there is also the business element of getting faster to the customer. One of the main frustrations of the customers is probably the customer service at times. Okay. Okay, but thank you so much for this introduction to this natural language processing, and I think you're gonna just, as a teacher of OPIT, you're gonna continue and discuss this in class. And so, if anyone has more questions, please feel free to reach out to Marzi. She's on LinkedIn as well. You can write to OPIT or to her, and we will be very happy to continue the conversation with you further on. Okay, thank you so much, Marzi.
Sure.